Yep.
Sometimes
All right,
Zencaster
so we
likes
are
to reset all
recording.
the settings.
Oh no, you sound great. You look great. Todd just froze.
How the?
Toddifer, you with
I'm
us?
still live. Am I still
Okay,
there?
there we go.
You're
All
here.
right.
Okay.
Yep,
We see you.
You just
I will
unfroze.
have to yell at the hotel manager if it doesn't work. Oh well. We'll see how this goes. Okay, I'll bring us in 3, 2, 1. Welcome. I'm jinxed myself. All right. Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 142. This is your guide to the geek side. No, it's not. Holy shit.
Take 3.
I am not. Let's try it one more time with feeling. Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 142. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. I am Todd Oxtra, one of your hosts for tonight, from an undisclosed location at a Best Western Select. We'll see if this internet holds up. Mark's recording it tonight, but I am here to talk video games. And I am joined by my friend from the far side of the continent. That is the Canadian, Mark Carabin. Disappointed that the Edmonton Oilers did not bring it home.
Absolutely. Yeah, the whole country's just a little, except my boss. My boss apparently went in on a hockey pool and bet against the Oilers, specifically because everyone else wanted the Oilers to win and won. He won some money today. So he said openly he would have rathered that the Oilers won, but he'll take the money. So he's the only person I've seen that's been happy about this in all of Canada, because I've talked to everyone in Canada today, of course.
Is everyone going to blame him now for the loss?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems fair. Very, very, very good. Well, we are also joined by a friend of the podcast who hasn't been here in almost 2 years. That is Corey Dierig, CEO of Boss Rush Media. Corey, how you doing, bud?
I'm great. Has it really been almost 2 years? Dang.
I was looking to confirm.
That's way too long.
It was episode 87. We talked about Star Wars games. Sean Nias was also on. That was May 3rd, 2022.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Man, I can't believe it's been that long. You guys were on the our Spotlight series last year, but man, it's been too long. But
That's crazy.
Thank you for having me back. I'm very excited. You know how much I love you guys. So,
well, it's mutual, Corey. It worked out because I know I had asked you to potentially come on SFU, and you're like, you got something else going on, and I've got a lot of stuff going on too. So glad this all worked out. Hotel life is not too bad. You may hear the air conditioning kick on. You may hear a gunshot in the background. Who knows? It's going to be fun.
Anything goes. Anything goes in the hotel room.
That's right. That is right. I mean, I'm drinking beer from a Holiday Inn Express styrofoam cup.
Oh man, that's
It's the high life. It is the high life. Well, very good. Well, tonight we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to break down the Nintendo Direct, potentially the last of the Switch's life cycle, which will be a lot of fun. We'll check in with our actual predictions to see if they came true. And we're going to walk through that Direct and see if it was the good, the bad, or the ugly. So with that, Mark, tell everyone about our awesome Patreons.
Yes, we have some amazing supporters over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite, where you can go over right now and get a free 7-day trial to check out all the stuff. We get all the shows ad-free. You get bonus content, early content, all that good stuff. And again, you can check it out all for 7 days. I want to thank our Friends with Benefits tier. That's John Sedorf, the Phoenix Sisters cosplay team, Brendan Myers, Matthew Keel, and Corey in HD.
Hey, that's me.
Hey, that's you. So thank you in person, or as close to in person as we're going to get, because you're freaking awesome. And then I also have to thank our BFF tier, which is Sean, Stella, and Henry Nias, the amazing Nias family who support us through everything and are great. Again, no ads for Patreon supporters, bonus content, extra shows, all that kind of stuff over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Go check it out.
And Mark and I were just talking about it. We think our newest show will be Mark teaches Todd Mac, and it'll be a great time.
Yes.
I will complain about it. Mark will explain, and I'll still be mad.
I will triple my Patreon money to watch that.
That's just to cover my heart rate or what's it called? Blood pressure medication from my head ready to explode, trying to teach Todd how to use a Mac over video chat without being able to see his screen. So he's describing like, why isn't this window doing what I want? It's like, I don't know what it's doing, let alone what you want it to do.
It's my revenge. When my in-laws ask me for their tech support across, the phone, and
we figured it out.
That sounds like
I think that could be a fun segment, actually. That there's some comedy entertainment value in that. So we might have to at least do an episode of just like old man yells at cloud, and the cloud is shaped like an apple. And
old man yells at iCloud. That should be the name of the show.
Yes. I am like legitimately writing that down right now.
I'm all for it. Mark can help me use iMovie to edit a video podcast. That'll even be better. But that's not what we're here about. Unless we want to talk about gaming on Mac. That could be a segment, right?
I mean,
it's getting better.
It has gotten better.
Yes, sure. Yes. Yeah, they're porting the best game to Switch, so it's getting better.
It's a reverse favor, right? They gave us Mario Run. What do you want?
Not Mario Run.
Can I run that on the Mac?
No.
In a developer environment, maybe.
Yeah.
Actually, with the new system, the new update, you're going to be able to mirror your phone. So potentially, in like September, October. Yeah, that could be a thing.
Okay. Well, we'll check back on that. We'll check. We'll send out our top men on that one. But with that, one of our favorite segments is back this week. We're going back to Buy Rent Return, folks. Where I'm at, the Blockbuster still reign. You can rent a movie, get a box of Twizzlers, and enjoy a video game rental of your choice if you would like. Mark, what was the big video rental place in Canada called?
Blockbuster.
Oh, really? You didn't have like a competing you didn't have a competing organization in Canada?
Not really. We had like a bunch of like mom and pop stuff, shops and that kind of stuff of just. We had one that was specifically there are the movie rental places, but we had one specifically for games called Game World. That place was legit. They like buy, sell, rent, the whole thing. That was awesome. And Blockbuster kind of came into town and crushed them a little bit. And Blockbuster did what Blockbuster do, and then Netflix undid Blockbuster. I guess that's how the world kind of went, right? But it was the same. Yeah, we had a Blockbuster here.
You want to remember when Redbox was huge for like a couple years before Netflix just totally took over, and I guess the pandemic probably killed Redbox too. But Redbox or Blockbuster was going to buy Redbox at one point, I think, was the story, and then they pulled out because they didn't think that model was serviceable.
But having a huge S store was probably more serviceable.
Yeah.
So, makes sense.
Yeah, I loved going into Blockbuster and like movie rental places. I missed that, but I suppose it is easier to click a button.
Yeah, my experience in my town, we did not get a Blockbuster until like I was out of college. It was so weird. It was just all small mom and pops. It was very rural. But every time when I would rent a movie at Blockbuster, that one I wanted, all the good movies were always gone. So you always like the second tier, and then I was like, okay, what are we renting here? So yeah, Netflix has never been out of movies to rent. So at least we can say that about it. It's there. But enough about Prehistoria. Let's get into our Buy Rent Return best E3 moments. So I picked a couple of oddities, but I think they're all interesting moments that were well regarded in regards to E3 from each platform holder. So I picked the PS4 Training Games $400 announcement in 2013, Xbox getting backwards compatibility on Xbox One in 2015, and the Wii reveal of 2005. Now, these are not game related for the most part, but they're just like big announcements. Something was cool about E3 and a moment in time that really captured everyone's imagination. So, Corey, you're our guest. What would you buy, rent, and return for these 3 moments?
So I will buy PlayStation 4 trading games. Because that's just such an iconic moment, and it's so funny, and it's still on PlayStation's YouTube channel. It's just, it was so unexpected of a company like PlayStation. You know, like it's something that Devolver Digital would do, right? It's something like, you know, low humor kind of thing, and it just stands out as hilarious still to this day. I will rent backwards compatibility on Xbox One because I actually use it pretty frequently, and I think that started a good trend for the industry. I've always said that Xbox is doing the best in terms of backwards compatibility, but they're like the company that needs it the least because it's Xbox, and like what, you know, you can only release Halo so many times, and you know. I mean, they have great series, but that's just the joke. And then the Wii reveal of 2005. I think the Wii is my least favorite console of all time.
Oh,
and
no.
So I don't like the motion controls. I don't like the Wii remote. I infamously, I guess, played the GameCube version of Twilight Princess on the Wii with a GameCube controller because I hated the motion controls. I think there are probably only about 6 or 7 games that I actually enjoyed. Like Donkey Kong Country Returns was great. Wii Sports is just a classic. So, I mean, but I don't even know if that counts. You know, Zack and Wiki was a great one. You know, there's a few gems on the Wii, but overall, I think that was the only generation that Nintendo wasn't really my primary console since like the Sega Genesis.
Wow.
Yeah. I hate the Wii.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Because I think of like at the time it was the Wii, PS3, and Xbox 360. But before that, it was GameCube, Xbox, and PS2. And man, I love the GameCube, but the library is pretty thin. So I appreciate that, Corey. I do. I pretty appreciate that. All right, Mark, what are your picks?
I have to comment. I loved the Wii in certain respects, but I have to agree with Corey. Like that's what turned me into a multi-console or gamer. You know, before that, I was all Nintendo growing up. My brother had a PlayStation 2, but that was kind of his, and I got a GameCube, and I'd play some stuff on his. But for me, myself, that's the first time I ever owned 2 consoles, not like a console and a handheld. That was like the first time it was like, I'm not getting what I need on the Wii. I need to get an Xbox 360. I still played the hell out of the Wii and I enjoyed that, but interesting kind of like, you just kind of made me realize that again. I'm sure I've mentioned that in the past, but like every once in a while it comes up. It's like, I play Xbox because of the Wii. I love Xbox because of the Wii, because it just
the Wii 360. What was it? The Wii 60? Is that what that was called? Like you get a 60. Wii and you get something else because you needed something else to play all the other games on.
And like back in it, like for me those days, University, like Halo, Gears of War, especially like Gears 360 was just like peak. Then you had all the like the Guitar Hero and all that kind of stuff, and then the Wii you had for like, you know, playing Mario Kart and wiggling a tennis racket or whatever. So okay, I also have to clarify E3 2005 specifically for this Wii reveal, right?
Yes. Just showing the console. Just showing the console and what the proof of the Wii was. Yeah.
Right. How small it is. No controller at that point. That was unveiled at Tokyo Game Show later on.
Oh, I thought they did. I thought it was proof of life.
Yeah, I thought the remote was shown off first because they had that big Game Informer kind of cover, and it was called the Revolution at the time. But I don't remember the order of events.
I think if memory serving me correctly, it was unveiled as the Revolution. It was super small. They compared it to like a stack of DVDs or something like that. But and it was black. It wasn't the white one that was released. And I think the full motion controller, all that kind of stuff, was unveiled later. But we can kind of even lump that in together if you want to. But I just wanted to clarify that of like which reveal it was.
Well, because they did show some. I'm just pulling it up right now. They did show that the fact that it would have a virtual console at the time, so that was kind of cool. And then they talked about some of the other if it was not in, okay, let me see here what else they show. I'm just looking at Miyamoto's face right now. He's talking about things. He's showing games. Let's see what else are they showing like that. Is that Howard Lincoln maybe? Mario Super Slug. So I don't know. They're still showing GameCube stuff on this thing. So I don't know. Maybe I thought it was that was the original reveal. Oh God, they're showing Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So I've gone too far.
Too far.
So maybe I'm wrong because I know they were gonna. I swear that was the one that I talked about, like all the things the Wii was capable. So I may have picked the wrong one, but basically it was the whole like this was a turning point for Nintendo too in regards to their strategy too, getting away from the hardware race, doing something completely different, doubling down on fun versus tech. I guess
that may have been 2006.
Was it? Where they finally showed? Okay,
and they started showing off the Wii.
Let's do 2006 then. Let's just change the game when we saw what the Wii was going to do, like motion controls, all that fun stuff.
I want it noted that my answer stands.
That's what, Corey.
And that's why you stuck with your stuff. Clarifying for me because I don't think it's going to change for you at all after your answer. So this one was with Reggie in 2006 and all that kind of.
My Body is Ready. Is that the body? My Body is Ready one too?
Possibly. Anyway, either way, I am going to agree with Corey and keep the PS4 trading games because PlayStation had a very different presentation ready to go. And for a company that big to scrap most of that presentation and throw together some very crude slides of here's how to trade a game and here's how to just to stick it to Xbox, who it's hilarious. It is an absolute hilarious moment in gaming that is usually revealed or reserved for something like Devolver or some other like a small indie company. You don't get the big three like poking fun, especially not Sony, who's usually so reserved. Like if anyone's going to do that kind of shit, it's Xbox.
Especially back then, because like they were coming off of the success of Uncharted and The Last of Us, and the rumors of like God of War was coming back were kind of swirling because the remaster was in development, and like they started really poking around the serious games, right? And Infamous Second Son was shown off, and that was and remember like you said, a different presentation. The iToy was supposed to be in the box. And it was supposed to be $500, and they realized nobody wanted a camera in the box. So
they pulled an all-nighter to like completely shift their strategy based on Xbox absolutely tanking a presentation, and it worked. Like holy crap, did it work?
I swear they took that video like in the back, like part of E3. And they said, we just got to do this in the green room. They took that video, changing, and then $400. I mean, that was pretty amazing.
It was all done. Like they were filming, editing, and putting that thing together like 30 seconds before they hit the stage. I am convinced, and you cannot convince me otherwise, until some Sony executive is like, here's how it actually went down. The behind the scenes documentary. But my own little headcanon is they were scrambling right until they got on stage and was like, here, stick it to Xbox. So I'm gonna rent the Wii reveal because I still think that was a cool moment for Nintendo with the Blue Ocean strategy, a weird name, a weird peripheral, some weird games. Whether or not things were unveiled exactly how we remember them or when we remember them, or if this was 2005, 2006 Tokyo Game Show, who gives a shit? The unveiling of the Wii and everything around it, I think, was just a weird, cool moment in gaming. We got the Reginator, we got all that kind of stuff. And then, like, it was cool. That was another scrambling point. We saw Sony's move and PlayStation or Xbox looking into Connect and all that kind of stuff shortly after this, because it was such a big moment of like the people doubting it and then the Wii just taking off like it did. Very like pivotal moment in gaming for a minute, and then it
And
became way too gimmicky. But at that launch point, at that early stage, that was big, and I think bigger for the majority of gaming than Xbox getting backwards compatibility. I love backwards. Before we recorded, I was playing Perfect Dark on the Switch, but like Xbox is the leader in backwards compatibility. Who would have thought that? Because Nintendo should be, but Nintendo's. So like, again, that's a big moment for Xbox. But I think in terms of like, I don't know, staying or impact kind of like headline power, I think that one was for like the hardcore gaming group that like playing old games and that means something to. So sadly, I'm going to return that one, but I do love what Xbox does with backwards compatibility and preserving gaming and all that kind of stuff. I respect it, but it's not as flashy.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
I do want to say too, like the Wii kind of brought Nintendo back to life after the GameCube, right? Because like as much as like we all Mark, you and I love the GameCube. We all Todd is a sad dad Nintendo murderer, I guess. It only sold 21 million units, and people were back then discussing if Nintendo should just make games for other platforms. And
Mhm.
the Wii launching $100 cheaper than its closest competitor, with a pack-in game that was already multiplayer, and launching with a Zelda game and something kind of unique like Red Steel. Granted, Red Steel wasn't good, but it was pretty unique. And
Yeah.
the Rabbids game, and they had a pretty solid launch lineup, and it was just that launch was really something. And the fact that you couldn't find one for however long because of I don't know, and they like to say Nintendo did the scarcity thing,
Full
but
scarcity. Yeah.
yeah. But I remember standing outside of Toys R Us for like 10 hours that night. So
Yeah. It was an interesting. And to even add a little bit more for people who weren't around or don't remember, like people talking about Nintendo going third party was a scary, real possibility back then, because we saw
mhm,
the Dreamcast fail
mhm,
and Sega being like, all right, we out. Like,
mhm.
what? You guys make Sonic. You guys are the competitor. Like,
Yeah.
Microsoft and Sony aren't. It's Nintendo, Sega, and then like these two newcomers. What are you talking about?
Mhm,
You're out. Like, this can't happen. You guys are established. You've been around since we were kids, and Sonic and Mario were just like head to head. And suddenly they're out, and it becomes a real possibility of one console being the nail in Nintendo's coffin. Like, that was
mhm,
back then, that was a lot more scary than it is, I think, right now, of people saying like, oh, if the Wii 2 fails or even the Wii U or something, like whatever, like we
mhm.
know Nintendo's just going to bounce back and do whatever they want. But like back then it was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, one failure can tank a video game
Yeah.
company and make a complete just shift in the industry.
Yeah.
I remember just being like, oh my God, like that could happen.
Mhm. And I mean, even during the Wii U era, I love the Wii U. Mine's actually still hooked up over here.
Mine is upstairs
But
too.
um they still had the 3DS to fall back on, and
Yeah.
the DS was still running its course, and so I don't think Nintendo was ever really in trouble. I just think they probably would have shifted their focus, and obviously they did with the Switch, and they kind of mastered the, hey, we're not gonna, they took that approach early, which I think everybody's kind of figuring out now, is like, oh, we're not going to focus on 3 platforms. We're going to focus on one and make it do everything that we want it to do, right? Because they're no longer doing mobile stuff. They're not doing the dedicated handheld stuff.
Yeah.
So, side tangent though, PlayStation kind of killing Sega. We had this discussion maybe a couple months ago where if Sega had a console now, they might actually be able to compete as a first party because of Yakuza, all the Atlas stuff.
Yeah.
They have Sega GT and Daytona still that could probably compete with Forza and Gran Turismo. They have all the arcadey stuff.
And they have mascot appeal. Like,
they have their
Sonic
MMO.
movies were good.
Yeah, they have Atlas, so they can make Shin Megami Tensei. They can make Persona. I mean, they've got quite a
Phantasy
portfolio.
Star.
Yep, they've got Relic to make, those real-time games if they want to do those. I mean, and they've got a film franchise that people love. People can't get enough of Sonic. Maybe they don't care about the games as much, but it seems like Sonic as a just character with the kids and licensing and games and or just movies and cartoons seems to be doing really, really well. And I mean, Sega's an interesting spot, and they it sounds like they're going to bring back a lot of their heritage franchises with like Crazy Taxi, maybe Jet Set Radio. I mean, they can go back to make Power Stone. Please make Power Stone. That's a great fun game.
They can leave Altered Beast though. They can leave it somewhere.
Oh, come on, bring it back. Golden Axe is coming back. Come on, anything's possible, Corey. Puyo Pop, or what was it? What was the one they made? Choo Choo Rocket. Bring that back.
Hey, I'll play a new Choo Choo Rocket.
Yeah. Monkey Ball has never left.
Bring back Blue Stinger. Why not?
Oh God, did they publish that? I owned that.
I still own it. It's on my shelf back there. So Activision published it in the West, but Sega published it in Japan and in Europe.
Okay.
So I'm not 100% sure who really owns that IP, but Hellblade 2, which was bad.
House of the Dead, Typing of the Dead 2. I mean, there's things we should have, but we don't. Yes.
Todd, where do these Byrant return moments rank for you?
Wow, it's interesting because I'm going to flip-flop it. I'm saying I'm buying the Wii reveal in 2006 just because Nintendo went all in on doing something completely different that nobody else was doing. It was basically, let's bring gaming to the masses rather than keep it niche, right? Bring it to grandma or grandma. They're doing the controls, which are very easy to explain to people as you just see it. They show Miyamoto and Bill Trinan playing, tennis on screen. They've got somebody playing the drums. They've got all these things that say like, that looks fun. And I get it. There's not a ton of controls. I get it. They talked about the virtual console, which was very cool. People wanted to buy games from their past and bring it forward because Nintendo, quite honestly, they try, and they even brought the GameCube forward with them with backwards compatibility. So it was kind of a cool idea. It was just, it did kind of step away from the core franchises that people really liked, but it still delivered Mario Galaxy 2, Twilight Princess, depending on how you wanted to play it. You could play it one or the other ways. And I thought it did some interesting things. The graphics weren't great, obviously, and I struggled with it. And that's why I don't love, going back to the Wii. But I mean, I just think they tried. They knew that what they were doing. They just saw diminishing returns on doing the same strategy. The GBA was lower than the Game Boy. The GameCube was pretty low. Everything was just going down. Like they just were not seeing what they were doing working against their competition. So the Wii and DS era, no one will ever sell more systems in a generation than that generation. Switch is great. but they will never sell 350 million systems like the DS and the Wii did. So, which is just amazing. And the fact that they sold as much software as they did, considering people only bought, the game for Wii Sports, they sold a lot of software. So I'll give them their props.
Don't forget Wii Fit.
Yeah.
Wii Fit, Wii Play. What else? What else am I missing? Any other
Wii Party
peripherals? Wii Party. What was that one game that Ubisoft did? Was it Wii Baby Mama Babysitter, where you had a doll and you put a Wiimote in it and you try to raise the baby? What? Yes, that was a thing. So many bad peripherals for the Wii. I mean, there was a game where you basically put your Wiimote in a baby and you raised it. Yeah. Wii Baby Party. Okay. I don't know. Maybe like that.
What?
All those Wii babies or Wii ponies and all those DS games that were just so like the herbs. Okay, let's move on.
Babysitting Mama. Holy shit, you're not making this up.
No, I am not, Mark. Why would I make something up like that?
I don't know. What?
Don't forget, that's the generation that also killed THQ because they had that tablet on the Wii and they thought it was successful there. So they put it on
UDraw.
Yeah.
Good times. I mean, how many rackets can you buy to put on your Wiimote? I mean, fishing poles,
steering wheels.
Yeah. That was the worst for forever. Just a steering wheel. Just put
and it was $20.
I know, they made so much money, so much plastic. Nintendo destroyed the planet with that system. Oh my god. Wiimote boards. Oh my god. Okay. I am then I'm going to rent the PS4 trading games. I just thought it was a moment in time that I don't think we'll ever see again, because we won't ever have the console owners back to back to back 3 days in a row where they, you hope you nailed it, because you didn't. Somebody's going to lampoon you the next day. Nintendo always went last. Sony went second. I thought it was so much fun. And then correcting almost all their mistakes from the previous gen, it was a great comeback. And I think it was just a fun way to celebrate just a moment in time that we'll never have back. And then Xbox getting backwards compatibility on Xbox One. It was important to give that console something to get excited about, especially after some of their bad press. I think that was the first E3 Phil was involved in too, maybe, or he was involved in the last one. But I felt like this is one where I'm like, it was good, but it feels like a feature, not the main focus, right? It was kind of like, all those games you love that we don't have now, here you go. So it was kind of nice. I just don't think that's what the high point of your console should be like, hey, old games you can play. So it's not exactly doing much to get new players in. It's just, recapturing old. So that's where I would stand. I mean, and I thought about it. I looked at the Xbox E3 2005. Now that's an interesting one. You've got Jay Allard in his coat, in his hoodie, sitting on a stage on the ground at times, standing up. Peter Moore is there. It's weird. It is a weird time. I think that's when we talked about Velocity Girl selling things on the Xbox Marketplace. They were talking about all these things you could do on the Xbox. It was forward thinking, achievements being unlocked, all these things, but it was just kind of weird, and we'll never see that again either. So, wow. E3. Now we get the summer games, guys. What are you going to say?
It was weird. We'll say that. Just like 2005 Xbox.
I mean, you needed G4 to really be part of E3, and well, G4 tried coming back.
Oh man, yeah,
that was the thing.
That was. I could do a whole podcast just discussing how terrible of an idea that was, and the way that they did it. I don't think it's a terrible idea overall, but it's You don't need 250 people to make essentially 3 YouTube shows.
No. Especially one is like 2 hours long and they're just playing like weird party games.
Right.
Yeah. That was not a good way to bring back Attack of the Show. Oh well. We're going on to what we've been gaming. So we're about 34 minutes in the show. We're actually gonna talk about video games now.
Sorry, guys.
No. This is perfect. So Corey.
Yes.
You and I go way back. I mean, we're talking way back. Yes. When Destiny, going back to the alpha, that's kind of how I started with Destiny. That's how I get to know a lot of people in the community. it has some of my best moments of gaming. Destiny 1 is the game I played the most in my life. And Corey, you started a podcast on your love of Destiny called Tower Casuals. You've been through the good times, the bad times.
Oh, it's been a weird roller coaster ride with Destiny. So Tower Casual is actually my second Destiny podcast. Because we all, you, me, Matt, and Matthew Keel, all kind of met because of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's kind of when, all that kind of stuff started. But I actually started a Destiny podcast with my one friend, Brian, called DNA Weekly Strike. Because
I remember that. That was crazy. DNA back in the days before, Nerds Gone Rogue. I mean, there were so many days.
Yeah. It was when Mark was, be getting Warp Whistle all the way back then. So and then, that ran from House of Wolves all the way through Rise of Iron. And then we kind of disbanded because there was really nothing to talk about. And then, once things started spinning back up, my friends, kind of moved on, and it was like, okay, well, but yeah, Destiny 2, the final shape is here. I've been playing a lot of that. I reviewed it for us. And I guess full disclosure, Destiny provided us a code, or Bungie provided us a code for Destiny 2, and the annual pass to review it. So
nice.
You can, take that how you want.
After 9 years of content, Corey, you've been bought and sold by Bungie.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know. Yeah. Well, look, just don't listen to any of the episodes over the last maybe year and a half because of Lightfall, and
Exactly. It's all been positive, we know.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a real full circle moment when they gave us the code, and then everything that happened last week, and that was actually late because of filling out stuff for Bungie. And it's just this Destiny's been this weird connective tissue for all of us, even Mark in a weird way, who's tangentially attached to this.
That's why he owns the white PS4. It's why he had a PS4, right, Mark?
That's exactly it. Yep.
Oh man, is it the Destiny one? The Destiny one, or is it just the white one?
No, the Destiny version came with Destiny. Yeah, still have it.
I wanted that one so bad. Yeah, and the final shape is finally the game every Destiny player wanted it to be.
Ooh.
I think I've sat on this for 3 weeks now at this point, and I still honestly think this might be the best campaign Bungie's ever made, even better than Halo, with the caveat that you've been invested since day one.
Yeah.
That's the big caveat, because there's a lot of callbacks, there's a lot of integration, especially in that first year of Destiny 1. There's a joke about, Todd, I don't know if you remember or not, the terrible leveling system that first year was in Destiny. Where you had to do the Dark Below to get the Crota boots so you could go do Skolas, right? Like that whole thing. There is a joke in the final shape about that. It is really funny, because they're about to go on the scouting mission, and one of the characters is like, oh, I guess I should go find some better boots. And it's so funny. Oh, it made me laugh, and nobody's talking about it. I can't believe nobody's talking about it. It's really upsetting.
They just threw that in there just for you. That's it.
Don't they know the pain that they cause? Now you're laughing in your pain.
Yeah. So it really ties everything together in the way, I'm not going to spoil anything here, because I'm sure there's, people who haven't played the campaign yet and probably want to experience it. But I do want to say that it ties everything together the way that Avengers Endgame tied everything together.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wow.
And they tied all those threads that we were like, WTF is this? Way back, they were tying together threads from like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago that we were just like, what is this? We have no idea what this is.
Exactly.
And tying stuff in. And I was like, I can't believe they did it. That was the first thing I said when I finished it, to, some of the people in our Discord. I was like, I can't believe they did it. And like, not only did they tie off this whole 10-year saga, they did a pretty great job of setting up what's next without like saying, oh, we're an MMO, so we're going to keep going, like it just made a lot of sense. And I really enjoyed it. It was really probably the best Bungie experience I've had, aside from server crashing issues. But oh man, and the final mission, the final mission is so good. The one that unlocks after the raid was beaten. It unlocked one final mission. Man, that cutscene, so good.
Interesting.
I also have been playing. I played Hellblade 2. I finished it. I played through it twice to get all the achievements.
Wow.
That game, I know that has a pretty divisive, opinion on it. I really loved it. A lot of interesting metaphors in that game, and a lot of interesting things to think about, especially if you kind of know your way around the mental health space. They really play a lot of they do a great job of making a physical version of the mental state that she's in, and I really liked it. And they totally, and not, I guess not to spoil anything, but there's totally going to be a third one. And
yes,
I know people want like the God of War Horizon experience, and that's what they thought this one was going to be initially. And this is an unpopular opinion, but I actually think they could tell this type of story while also giving us the God of War experience.
Oh yeah. I agree.
I think what they did with this one, they expanded it well enough and introduced some interesting characters and they totally set it up to be a God of War experience in the next one. Because the giants are involved, and the whole thing is about kind of slaying the giants and preventing them from taking over the lands and whatever. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then I've also been playing a bunch of various Mario games with my kids, because they're kind of obsessed with Mario and Princess Peach and Luigi right now. And my son loves Bowser for some reason.
Nice.
My son loves dinosaurs, and Bowser, I guess, kind of looks like a dinosaur. And
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, "Where's Bowser? Where's Bowser?" Because like Mario Wonder. My daughter's like, "Can you play as Peach?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Can you play as Daisy?" I'm like, "Sure." And my son's like, "Bowser." And I'm like, "No, I can't play as Bowser, buddy." He's like,
"Sorry, yeah.
But where's Bowser?" I'm like, "He's the bad guy, buddy." He's like, he just
not to me.
But he's a dinosaur. Dinosaurs are good.
Yeah.
The good guys.
Yeah, I think because Bowser sings in the movie, he just kind of assumes that he's like not a terrible bad guy.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can't be bad if you sing.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. No. Jack Black doesn't play bad guys.
No. I was going to ask you, Corey, on Destiny 2: The Final Shape. So I admit I've played every campaign. I don't do the raids anymore. I just kind of really play it for the story. Just don't have the time. My son kind of fell out too. He's played far more hours than I did. So I'm gonna try to beat Last Light, because that's where I stopped. And I'm gonna play Last Shape. Is it a scenario where you feel like it's worthwhile for new players to hop in? Because I know when you hop in, it's hard to know what type of experience you're going to have, because it's not like you're starting at Destiny 2 the beginning. You're not starting at Destiny 1. It's like what's available now in their vault of available content, which to me is always very confusing to new players.
Yeah. The New Light experience is still really bad. Like onboarding players. And then probably the most important expansion in the entire series for this story to make any sense is Vaulted in Forsaken.
Yeah.
Forsaken is probably that storyline, and that entire year is you need to know what's going on with that character. And it's, I mean, what, 6 years ago? I don't know if you played Forsaken. I don't know if you played Forsaken or not.
I did. I played all of them.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. And like I said, Last
Yeah.
Light's the last one I need to play before I go on to the the final shape.
Yeah. So it's weird because like the last, since the Witch Queen, really, well, I guess since Beyond Light, but really the Witch Queen, the seasonal storylines have also been pretty integral to the plot. It's not really essential, but I would probably watch some of the cutscenes from the seasonal content, especially Zavala's story in particular, because there's a whole season that kind of revolves around his life before being the Vanguard leader, and that's pretty essential for understanding the story. So that's I would do that. Light, I would argue that Lightfall is actually the least important. It's not very good. I mean, there's things that you can play and get stuff out of it, and Strand is a really cool subclass that they teach you about. But essentially, the entire campaign is a tutorial for Strand, and Osiris just yells at you to use Strand. Use Strand. Use Strand.
I like being told what to do.
Invoke the darkness. Use Strand, and it's like, okay, I get it. You want us to use the green tethers to tie up everybody. So it's really hard to say like the final shape is worth it if you've never played, but if you have played and you're just a lapsed player, if you do a little bit of research and maybe play some just to get your feet wet, it's still probably worth going back. Like, as long as you know who Aldrin Sov and Crow and Cade are, those are the main players. Obviously, there's a very personal story with Ghost, actually, that takes place in this story. That's really cool. Ikora still has no storyline whatsoever. Zavala's kind of backstory is pretty important. And
he's been replaced by
Keith David. Yeah, that really threw me off.
Yeah.
It's hard to say it turned me off at the beginning, because obviously you can't bring Lance Reddick back, which is really sad. But like, it really jarred me at the beginning, because there's a cut scene where they're getting in the elevator and Keith David is doing his low Keith David voice, and he kind of sounds like Lance Reddick. You're like, oh, okay, this sounds pretty normal. But then he's like, you get out on the battlefield and he's like yelling and stuff, and like angry Keith David voice, and it's like, okay, this is not
Why
Lance
is
Reddick.
Spawn yelling at me? Oh,
yeah. So yeah, it really threw me off. But I would say the final shape, Prismatic, is an awesome subclass. They take all the other subclasses and merge them into one, and you can customize it however you want. And they're going to add abilities over time to that. So I think what they're aiming to do is probably getting rid of the other subclasses at some point and just having Prismatic be the one super customizable subclass. And then you can create the other subclasses out of Prismatic if you really want to. Because they added loadouts last year, like subclass loadouts, so you can kind of swap them out without having to change your aspects or your abilities or everything. You can just kind of save them as you want. So yeah, I would say get your feet wet, learn Strand, because Strand is actually a really cool subclass too. So if you Lightfall's really bad though. And just do some catching up through the cutscenes on YouTube, which is really nice because the Destiny YouTube channel actually has been posting. They're called the Lore Archives, and they've been posting the cutscenes from all of the seasons leading up to the final shape, which was really cool. Also, I don't know if you know who the YouTuber My Name is Bife is, but he's like a Destiny lore aficionado. He's been doing Destiny lore for 8 years. And he just released an entire 10-hour lore video. Like, it's one video that's 10 hours long that tells the entire story of Destiny from the discovery of the Traveler up to the final shape. And it's everything you need to know going into the final shape.
Wow.
Holy crap.
And it's like, it is a fast watch too. Like, I did not realize I watched the whole thing in 10 hours.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he he has this really like soft, like almost documentary style British voice that like narrates the entire thing. And it's super cool. And he uses cutscenes and music from the game, and he had artists kind of animate and draw out all these scenes and everything. A couple years ago, right before the Witch Queen came out, he actually did a 2-hour video, like a movie on the 3 hive gods leading into the Witch Queen, telling the entire backstory of Savathun and why she's important to the story. So that was really cool. So I would recommend him too if you need to know any kind of lore things, but that's just me because I love the lore. I have 6 lore books over here, so
My son would try to explain everything, and I'm like, I will try to catch up. It's a lot, but I mean,
yeah.
I just think back to 2014 when Destiny launched. I don't know if anybody thought there would be a game that lasted 10 hours. I mean, between this and think World of Warcraft and other games like that, I mean, their legacy is set in a place when games were not doing this. So I give them their flowers, and I cannot wait to see what they do next.
Yeah, it's that I have probably put 50 hours into this expansion. I am nowhere near close to being done with the final shape content, let alone the other stuff that I never finished.
Wow.
Yeah, but Todd, for someone like you, I would go in and to the Destiny 2 YouTube channel and just catch up on the cutscenes, because the cutscenes are like 90 seconds to 2 minutes long each, except for like the main expansion ones. So you should be fine.
Yeah, I think there was one campaign where, because I was a little bit lapsed, I like didn't drop in where I was supposed to. I dropped into like the newer chapter, and I'm like, I just want to go back. So I ended up, it was just a little frustrating. I'm like, okay, this is,
Yeah, they do that when the seasons launch. When you launch the game, when the new seasons launch, they launch you into the first mission instead of just letting you do what you want.
Yeah, start me from the beginning. Yes, just start me from the beginning of the campaign. Yeah, a little frustrating. Yeah,
yeah,
very cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
Oh, it's so good. And the Pale Heart is like the best destination they've ever made, because I know I'm taking up time. The Pale Heart, it's the best destination because it is a linear destination.
Okay.
It feels like a really long Halo campaign level with a bunch of little tunnels and secrets and caves. And it's also a solo player destination. So there are no other players unless you invite them in to play with you. And that is why they were able to do so much with it.
Yeah, I'm just scared to bring people on with me to be like, where have you been? Why do you have nothing good? I'll be like, I tried.
Yeah. Hey, look, I tried to watch.
What's going? Yeah, that's tough. Dude.
I tried to walk.
Where's my Galahorn? Give me my Galahorn.
Galahorn's in the game. You can get it.
Thorn. My Thorn was my go-to.
You can, so that's the thing too. If you haven't played in a while, they give you exotic ciphers that you can go to the kiosk and buy up to like 3 exotics.
Nice.
And Thorn is one that you can buy if you want to really play with Thorn.
I love Thorn. Was so overpowerful. I felt like a badass, but those are the days. All right, Corey, thank you for your service in regards to Destiny.
You're welcome.
Check out Corey's review, and check out Destiny. Mark, what have you been playing, man?
I have been continuing on my Star Wars Hunters addiction. I am about halfway through the Battle Pass, and the last episode I talked about the Battle Pass and how long it was going to be. It seems to be in line with like a Fortnite style Battle Pass. I think 8 weeks or something like that. 8 or 10 weeks. So it seems pretty good. I'm moving through it at a clip that feels good to me. And I keep unlocking. I still have new hunters to unlock. So it's a very rewarding kind of thing where I'm playing like ranked mode and moving up on that and moving up through the battle pass and unlocking new hunters, all while just kind of playing and not worrying too much about it. It's really good. It's way better than I expected. So if you're a hero shooter fan, if you're a Star Wars fan, check out Star Wars Hunters. The reception apparently has been so good that they are looking into but not committing to any other platform. So right
Oh,
now,
really?
mobile and Switch exclusive, but the developer has said like, yeah, we're gonna look into it because we didn't expect it to be this popular. But of course, nothing to officially announce at this time. But I think if we're looking into it, I think it's a pretty good indicator that it's destined for other platforms. Um, Especially because I think one of the other things that they followed up with was we're working on wait times as well. So like sometimes, usually it's pretty snappy to find a match, but like today I played a match. It took me about 45 seconds to jump into a ranked match, which is unusual. And that's something that other players are complaining about. I don't really care. I'm just, I'm checking my phone. I'm doing other things while I'm waiting to jump in. But, that's something that they said. So if you take those two things at the same time, basically translates to we want more players and we know there's other platforms. Make the wait times less by expanding to other platforms, and you're solving a whole bunch of problems. So it's really good. I'm really really enjoying it. Finn and I have been still working through our Pokedex on Pokemon Scarlet and rounding some things out through Pokemon Home.
Did you get support? Did you get help?
I did a little bit. I still have to hook up with Sean and Henry, who said they have a couple of different versions of the games and they can trade some stuff. I just hadn't had time to reach out and say like, okay, let's set up a trade time, date, whatever, to play. But Sean, yeah, thank you for reaching out, Sean, and we will set something up soon. But I ended up getting a couple of trades through Pokemon Home and through a couple of other places that we're rounding things out. We're really close. And like I said, just before we started recording, I was playing Perfect Dark on the N64 Mature app, which I was very surprised is a separate app for anyone who, we'll talk about that later. But it's a weird kind of thing.
I was shocked too.
Perfect
I thought
Dark
it was just going to be like a separate like box within the app, but it's like a whole.
Got to age gate that.
2 games.
I mean, Turok. I mean, Corey. You do not want your son seeing dinosaurs getting killed. So
no, but I will watch. I will have him watch James Bond shoot people in the face.
Exactly.
That's okay.
Yep.
So that's the weird distinction between Perfect Dark and James Bond. And I had to go into the original N64 app and check, and 007's rated T for teen, and Perfect Dark. Is there a language? Maybe. I know. So playing through it recently, the bodies stick around. 007, they hit the ground basically.
Doesn't blood go on the screen though when you die? And
in 007, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not blood.
I don't know. There is a little tiny bit more blood in Perfect Dark. Like if someone's standing next to a wall and you shoot them, the blood will splatter and stay on the wall. So you can tell what rooms you've been in as you're walking through and you're going through, and you can be like, oh yeah, I was in that room because there's a dead body on the floor and there's like blood on the wall.
You have to see what the ESRB is, Mark, on between the two, and see if there's something.
Yeah, it's an interesting distinction, but I'm very curious to see if now that there's a mature app, are they going to put stuff like Conquer on there? Are they going to add more, or is this just going to be an app with like two or 3 games? You have to assume that Turok 2 is coming at some point.
What else is bad?
Is
there any like gory, like weird, like arcade?
I mean, you could easily throw Doom in there. You could throw like Killer Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem 64, some stuff like that you could very easily throw in and justify this being a separate app because you really don't want kids playing some of that stuff. But I think Conquer would be the worst offender, that you just could not have a cute looking mascot next to like Donkey Country and like Mario 64 and be like, because my kid would be like the little goblin that would click on the cute squirrel and then have like some, I'm not going to get into it. But like,
can I walk down the list of all the mature rated N64 games?
Yes.
Sure.
Biofreaks, Carmageddon 2, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Doom 64, Duke Nukem 64, Duke Nukem 0 Hour, ECW Hardcore, Forsaken, X and Beyond Heretic, Daikatana, Mace the Dark Age, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Mythologies, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Nightmare Creatures, Perfect Dark, Quake, Quake 2, Resident Evil 2, Shadow Man, South Park Rally, Chef's Love Shack, South Park Chef's Love Shack, Turok Dinosaur Hunter, Turok Dinosaur Hunter 2, Seeds of Evil, Turok 3, Shadow of Oblivion, Turok Rage Wars, and War Gods. How were there 4 Turok games?
Yeah, I know.
They're
Like
so
one and
good,
two, I
man.
played the hell out of, but man, I would also love to see the South Park games on this
Well,
service.
they can fill it up. They can fill up all those games that nobody bought. I mean, mature. I mean, how many people were buying mature games on N64?
I'm surprised with how many of those games that I had or at least rented a lot, like the Mortal Kombat games, the South Park games. Yeah, you ran through a list of games that were like on my list of games that I had, friends
64.
had, or we'd always rent and just like pee in snowballs and throw them at each other. Um, it's a South Park reference for anyone thinking that that's what we do.
Oh,
in
yes.
Canada. That is a
No, you do it. That's how they learn, Mark. They learn from the Canadians.
fantastic. Yeah, I want them to expand this app now. You just
Well,
listed off some bangers that they could
I
really
mean,
go crazy with this.
what was that one game? Wasn't there a lot of like really bad like Mortal Kombat like clones in the arcade, like Time Splitters or not Time Splitters? Was it Time Killers or something like that? They had some really bad games in the arcade that
Mm,
tried to just do some bad stuff, and they all seemed like they were destined for the N64.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, that's basically all I've been playing. What about
All
you?
right. Well, I've been playing May 64 and all the Turok games. No, just kidding. I have not been playing this. One game I have been really busy. I played more Immortals of Avian, but really what I was checking out was a bunch of demos on the Steam Demo Fest.
Mm,
1,800 demos were dropped during Steam Fest. 1,800 games. I don't even know if there's 1,800 people in the world that play games. That's a lot of demos just dropping right there. But the one game I really wanted to play, I did, and that is G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra. So this is
nice.
essentially the Shredder's Revenge kind of kicked this whole thing off of retro takes on new versions of those brawlers, like the old TMNT game. And I think people just want more of these, and we're getting more because we got, obviously, this game is coming out, G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra. It's essentially 1984, the animated G.I. Joe series in video game form. It's the video game we never got with G.I. Joe. It's awesome. It's it's Duke, Scarlet, Roadblock, and Snake Eyes taking on all of the colorful Cobra troops. And every level has a badass Cobra boss that you take on. It is amazing, and like your power ups are pretty cool. Like Snake Eyes has his dog attack people, which is really cool. And then Duke, I think, has a big ass power kick, and then Scarlet shoots a rocket launcher, and they have like their I don't even know what you call it. Basically, it's the mocking button where it's basically you mock the bad guys with like some type of like, come on. Like Scarlet shoots her darts in the ground to make a smiley face. It's very fun. It's very cute, very fun. I like what their attention to detail with the animated series. It's actually got a cool cutscene in the beginning. They actually created a new theme song. It's really fun. You can play 2 levels and you can play all the characters within those 2 levels. I had a blast. I think it's gonna be awesome. I mean, we know we're getting the Power Rangers Rita Rewind that's in this kind of mode too.
Mhm.
So I'm just happy if we get a new X-Men version. Any other franchise really deserves this. So I'm all in on this.
This is coming out for other platforms too, right? Like Switch.
Correct.
And
It's
other.
Switch, PS4. And the cool thing is it's online co-op and couch co-op. So Charlie
Mm.
and I can actually play because G.I. Joe is like one of his first loves.
Oh yeah.
So we're all in on this. So I don't know how many players it can play, but Charlie can get PSN. We'll both get the game and we can play it together. So Mark, I don't know if it's cross online play, but if you play it on the Xbox, we could play. Corey, you could join us, have a foursome, and somebody's got to play Roadblock. That could be me.
Is this already out? Forgive me if I.
No, it's like coming out this fall, I believe.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
no release date. Yeah.
Right.
So that's it for me. I'm very excited to play some new games, and I am ready for the fall because there's a lot of big games coming out very, very soon. So that's what we've been playing. But before we move on to the big part of the show, the bonus round, listen to this ad about all the cool things we're doing with Zencaster. Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencaster. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencaster is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution, provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencaster because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencaster has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencaster? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencaster. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencaster's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencaster's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to zencastr.com/SFU and use our code SFU. And you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experience I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show. Now it's time for the bonus round. We're going to be breaking down our picks for the Nintendo Direct, which followed after the hijinks of the Summer Games Fest. So thank you, Nintendo. You gave us a day to prepare, and we're back. Everything has died down a little bit. Now we're ready to give our thoughts on this. Once we go through this list, we're going to then talk about our predictions to see if we won or lost. And then we'll give our review if it was a buy, rent, or return, and some of our favorites from the show. So let's break this down, boys. And if you have something you want to talk about really quick, let me know. The first game shown was Mario and Luigi Brothership. It's a pun because there's also a ship that is also called the Brothership. Beautiful style. Absolutely. I love the outline. It's really pretty. It's a mix of that Mario and Luigi RPG style with some cool mini games and fun tactics in regards to that. I thought it was really cool, but Nintendo will not tell us who's making this game because the previous makers of this game, this series, no longer exist.
Right.
This was pretty cool.
Yeah. So they actually said that
Alpha Dream.
Yeah, Alpha Dream shut. Yeah, Alpha Dream closed after the Bowser's Inside Story remake for 3DS. Because it sold like 12 copies. But they did confirm that there are developers from that studio working on this in some capacity. The creative director of those games works at Monolith now, the Xenoblade developer. And there's a couple other developers that work internally at Nintendo. So I don't know how that's working, but I do know that there are people associated with the series working on this one.
Very cool. November 7th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nintendo World Championship NES Edition. This game is coming out July 18th and is essentially, if you want to reenact the wizard, you can now.
Yeah. We knew about this one, so that wasn't a huge surprise. Yep. It was nice to see, though.
Yeah, exactly. Fairy Tail 2 for all you anime nerds. It's not here, so we can't comment. Fantasian, Neo Dimension.
Yes. I'm excited for this. I know not very many people are excited for this, but so Fantasian, for those who don't know, is Mistwalker's new game. They did Blue Dragon. Right. They did Lost Odyssey. They did The Last Story on Wii, which are two incredible RPGs and one kind of meh RPG. But nobody ever played them because of where they were. And this is their game that was an Apple Arcade exclusive
Oh, yeah.
for what 3 or 4 years at this point,
Mhm.
and they are finally porting it to Switch. And it's by the original creator of Final Fantasy. The composer is the composer of the first 6 Final Fantasy games. It's I'm excited. It's probably going to be a very solid 7 because the battle system alone looks like a phone game. But Mistwalker deserves some love, so I'm going to give it to him.
That's awesome.
Nintendo finally showed up. Sony, right? Sony's not getting this game.
Nope,
Mhm.
not yet.
All right.
They will somewhere.
All right. Take that, Apple. Nintendo Switch Sports gets basketball. Play it.
Weird, like random update for a game that I did not expect an update for.
Me neither. I'll be playing with my mother because she loves that game. We
You
played
know what? Finn
bowling. Yes.
is excited for this one. He loves like the basketball game at the arcade.
Yeah.
And we were like he watched some of this direct with my wife and I and was watching. We were like, yeah, buddy, you can throw it like, you know, because he's familiar with like the Joy-Con and some motion control stuff. And we're like, yeah, you can throw it like that. And he's like, can we do that now? I was like, oh, it's not out right now, but we can do it when it comes out for the update. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just one of those things that, like, I haven't thought about that game in a while, but I'll jump back in.
Absolutely. Then we get Mio, Memories in Orbit. It's Ori-like, I guess is the best way to say it. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, this game
Beautiful.
looks awesome.
Disney Island Illusion or Illusion Island is getting an update. Perfect game for the kids.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
And it was one of those fun, like, it's launching today. I love those. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is like 9 months too late, though.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, hopefully it's done well. I mean, I know a lot of people liked it, but it was definitely a little bit easier on the level. But it's my first Metroidvania, so give it to Mickey for bringing kids to harder and harder games. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. It's a mobile game. It's also coming to every platform.
That was also a Apple Arcade.
Was it?
Wasn't it?
Sure.
I believe. I don't know if it was an exclusive, but I know it was on Apple Arcade for sure.
It is on Apple Arcade, but it was on PC first. You know why?
Okay.
Because this was the game that Butters was playing during the Warcraft episodes of South Park.
How did they even do that?
I don't know.
How did they even do that? That's amazing. I love it.
So funny. That was the first thing that I thought of when they
announced this. Is Chim Pokemon a real game too?
No, but you can collect them in the first
That's
Obsidian
right.
RPG.
What about what was it, Mega Man or whatever it was called?
Something like that.
Super Mega Man. Yeah. Love it. So there you go. More cozy games. Then Looney Tunes, Wacky World of Sports. Hey, you like mobile-like games coming to Switch? This one looked like a mobile game coming to Switch.
Dude, what was the Bugs Bunny Jam? Like, what was that game called? Looney Tune Jam?
Oh, the second NBA Jam game that was on that was free on Xbox.
No, it was the like N64 Looney Tunes B-Ball, or not N64.
Shut up and jam.
Oh God,
was it just Looney Tunes B-Ball? I think that's it. It was SNES.
Is it?
Oh yeah, that game was great. Yeah, it is just
Looney
Tunes B-Ball.
Corey, do you share that?
I have no comment on anything Looney Tunes, so
I love Looney Tunes, but most of it's bad.
Most modern Looney Tunes. So horribly OP. He could just, because he like ate the ball and spit it out, and you could do full court drops, like just sinking threes. This game just brought up those kind of memories for me for sure.
It's a day one for Mark. You just heard it here. Game of the show. Yep. Among Us has got an update, so play that. Then we're getting Farmagia, which is kind of a take on Cheese because that's Formaggio, but it's going to be raising monsters in a garden.
Yep.
November 1st.
Neat.
Yeah, then we get Donkey Kong Country Returns HD that is coming with 3DS levels, I believe.
Yep.
Not sure who is making this. Hopefully, it's not a game that was causing Retro to be delayed on Metroid Prime 4.
It's the studio that did the 3DS version.
Oh, okay.
So I don't remember who that was, but
I think the big win is you don't have to blow into your Wiimote or waggle your Wiimote to do anything in this game.
right.
Yeah.
That's a win. That's a win. Yes. January 16th. So they lied. Nintendo says these are games that are coming in late 2024. They lied. This is a 2025 game. Come on, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Don't lie to us. Dragon Quest 3 is getting 3 games now on their 2D HD, but for some reason they're launching with 3 and they're getting 1 and 2 later. Very odd choice.
Well, they're releasing them chronologically in the story order.
Right.
What?
3 is actually a prequel to 1 and 2.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
And they said you should play the remakes in that order.
Okay. So it's like, what is it? The Final Fantasy games are actually not like it's 6 in Japan, but it's Final Fantasy something in the US. And yeah,
I don't
Japan.
know. I don't know, man.
They just like to toy with us simple Americans and North Americans. Sorry, Mark. North Americans.
Remember that when they made us
14th.
that special Final Fantasy game for Super Nintendo for Americans called Mystic Quest?
Oh God, yes. Mystic Quest 64. I remember that. I'm like, what is this thing? I don't know. Troy Americans. Okay, that's coming out November 14th. Funko Fusion. I know this doesn't look very good, but this is like because we don't get like a lot of Lego games anymore. This is like Lego Dimensions, like the weirdo version of that, right?
Who is this game for?
Charlie Carden, Mark. It's for Charlie Carden. It's all the franchises that he loves that he can play in a simplistic game style.
Yeah. Because, I'm like, I'm struggling with this one. Because, like, the Funko Pop, like you said, it looks like a Lego game. You get the fun Funko Pop figures. I thought this was going to be like you said, a Lego Dimensions replacement. And then we get, like,
He-Man.
Super serious. No, not even the He-Man's. I could
Jaws.
He-Man. It's the
and the Walking Dead. Shaun of the Dead.
Like Invincible, Five Nights at Freddy's, Jaws. So much violence and shooting and stuff that I
Dinosaurs, Corey. Dinosaurs. Your son.
Yeah.
Definitely not. And I see this game and I'm like, I want Finn to play like a Lego style, like bobblehead Funko game. And then I look at the footage of this and I'm like, God, no.
I mean, even the Funkos don't want to be in there. I don't know if you saw the scrolling boxes, but they're like trying to get out of the boxes because they don't even want to be in this game.
Yeah, they even canceled that Gears Funko game. Remember the Gears Funko game?
I do. There's a video of me online reacting because I thought it was Gears 4 reveal.
No.
And it was a Funko Pop because they did the Gears 1 remaster that year. Yeah. And then afterwards they revealed that brick wall with the Gears logo. And I was like, yes, Gears. And then like the Funko Pop chainsaws through the wall and it's bad.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you. Well, it's coming to September 13th. I may check this one out. You know, I got GameFly for a reason.
You got to talk to Charlie about something.
I do. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be that G.I. Joe game I just talked about in this, and he's going to be pie in the sky. Luigi's Mansion 2 is getting an HD upgrade. This game has literally got no information coming out. Like, are they doing anything new to this? We don't know. It's coming.
Yep.
And I'm
this
going
is
to
my
get it from
wife's most
GameFly.
anticipated game of the year. So
I'm getting it from GameFly.
Pumped. It's like pumped, and it's out
I'm playing it.
Yeah,
it's the best. It's the best Luigi's Mansion game in my opinion.
Is it?
Agreed.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
3? Not 3?
No, this one.
Oh, I love 3. I love 3. Okay.
It's because there's a lot of variety in the mansions, and there's more than one. So.
Yeah,
I played it a little bit on the 3DS, but not much, so I don't know. But they got rid of the Dark of the Moon though, so it's number 2. So there we go. Then we get the new Dempamen. Apparently, the old Dempamen were retired. I don't know what happened to them. It's coming.
Yep,
it's something.
Then we're getting Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. I know nothing about this game. It's not the tactics. Yeah. Is it just a Metal Slug game? Is it like a tower defense game? I don't know.
It's a tower defense game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, it just
Mhm.
dropped. Yeah, it's out. So get that now. Darkest Dungeon 2. If you want to be depressed and scared and weirded out on your Switch, it's coming on July 15th. Then we're getting 4 games with Nintendo Switch Online. Mark already talked about Perfect Dark. Turok is coming in a mature rated app. And then you're also getting Zelda Link to the Past with 4 Swords and Metroid Zero Mission. That's a cool drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zero
Awesome
Mission.
drop. Awesome remake of the first game.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Yeah, because it kind of made some upgrades. Like, hey, there's a map now, and you can do some things, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. That is just a Link to the Past, but then bolted on a different type of 4 swords, right? It's not the other 4 swords.
No, it's yeah. You're right.
And you can play it online now. You don't need to like link all your Game Cubes and your GBAs.
Yeah.
Dang it.
That I know, Corey. You're like, what the hell do I have my GameCube and my GBAs for? I keep it for this very, very moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When your cats chew through your GBA cords, you'll have a place to play.
Yeah.
Phantom Brave, the Lost Hero. It's a old school like 2D like tactics game. So play that. A surprise launch, though, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcades Classic. This is really cool. It's got going back to the Punisher, which was apparently the first Marvel Capcom team up, which is basically a side-scroll brawler. Then it's got X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel Heroes, The Quest for the Gem. I can't remember what it's called. Gem Heroes or something like that. That was pretty cool. And then you get all of the Marvel versus Capcom games 1 and 2. Marvel versus Capcom 3, not so much because it wasn't in the arcade.
It's also not the best one. So
yes,
to be honest.
And it's not. And apparently it's not coming to Xbox because of the framework that this series was out on, and it's was not supported on Xbox. So I'm hoping Xbox will rectify that and give Capcom some support to make that happen.
They haven't updated it's called like the MT framework since like 2015 or something, which is weird because like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is an Xbox 360 arcade game.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. Apparently Xbox One was that like hard cut. You know, it's like if it's backward, it's not. Is it backwards compatible on Xbox One? No, is it?
No,
that sucks
because of the licensing.
Oh, that's so weird. Then we're getting Super Mario Party Jamboree. I could not tell you anything about any Mario Party game. Apparently, though, it's got 2 old boards plus a bunch of new stuff, and these games sell like more than every game on Xbox and PlayStation combined.
This like that 20 players competing online with new modes, like that looks insane. That looks just
thank God they've got a great online system to support that.
Yeah.
I hope that it works for this.
20 players on screen at one time. That doesn't sound like it's going to go horribly wrong.
Never. Nope. Nobody's going to get kicked.
Not a chance. October
when your game drops online and your kids cry, enjoy that, parents.
Yeah.
October 17th. So there you go. Then Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. This was not even like the one more thing, which is surprising because that's typically what a Zelda game gets. This is essentially Zelda getting her own chance to have her own adventure. Link vanishes, and she has the ability to duplicate items in her environment, including furniture and also bad guys.
Yeah.
This is really unique in the art style of Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
So
I'm really excited. Yeah, I actually thought this was a remake of the very first game, the way that Link
I did too.
Yeah, that's what I really thought it was. And I got really excited because I've never finished the first game.
Oh, really?
It's just
the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I've never finished it.
Oh, wow.
It's too hard.
It is
too hard.
Too hard?
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I'm like a Souls master now, and I beat this. I beat Zelda 2. Come on, you wimps!
I know. It's like the biggest hole in my Zelda history is that first game. Well, the second one too, but
okay.
Samesies.
I'll forgive you.
Yeah, that new Switch Lite though. Whew. That thing
I
is
thought I knew
dirty.
you guys. I think this game is gonna be perfect for people going online, posting their stuff, what they did. Somebody's gonna beat the game only with a bed. This will happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'll be
It's
fun.
going to be interesting. I like seeing this style of Zelda game with that openness, like you said, the way to play it that we saw in like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's taking that style and putting it in that isometric Zelda look, and it's an interesting mix, and one that I really didn't expect for this like end of Switch life cycle timeline. Like, let's be honest, who bet on a new Zelda game this year after Tears of the Kingdom? They could have easily saved this for Switch 2, phoned it in with a Wind Waker or Twilight Princess or both.
Whoa! Let's
Something.
not say phone it in. Whoa! Whoa!
Uh,
Whoa!
Phoned it in
click
as
save
far as like
click save as
the
from Wii U
effort.
to Switch.
I
Come on,
it's
Corey.
my most desired game on the Switch. The biggest gap for me as far as like Nintendo's catalog is Wind Waker, followed very closely by Twilight Princess. I've been wanting those two
You guys
games.
both said you have a Wii U sitting at home.
That's
I
the only
want it on
reason why my
Switch.
Wii U's plugged in is because of
Yeah,
those
that's
two
it.
games.
So like
I have
we
3
need
copies of
those
it.
on.
Only I could play it somewhere.
We
Oh,
need
you
those
can.
on
I've
Switch. When
played
I
them.
say phone it in, I mean it's the easy choice. Like it seems
It's already been
so easy
remastered. What else
to
do they
just
need
be
to
like,
do?
like you said, Todd, file, save as, Switch. Here you go. Let's print some more money. And then they go and they do a brand new game with what seems like a complicated mechanic.
Yep.
It's weird. I love it, but it's a weird choice at this
It
point.
is a
Switch is
very weird choice. It's coming very soon, though. It's coming September 26th, along with a Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition. So, for those of you who already own 5 Switches, here's a 6th Switch.
It's so
I
cool.
have 3.
See, there you guys. You guys are the problem. So the Switch has only held like 50,000 original Switches, and everybody else owns 25 million of them. So there you go. Yeah. So that is coming. It's very pretty. It's gold. Reminds me of all the cool 3DSs we got when they were really going hardcore into those versions. Just Dance 2025 edition. Very cool. It's there. Lego Horizon Adventures. Fun fact. PlayStation is not showing this game off on their own events. It's only been at the Summer Games Fest and also Nintendo. Kudos to them. I'm glad this is coming. This actually looks a lot more fun than the real games.
Yeah.
I know it's a bad take on my own, but I still feel those games. I don't enjoy playing them. I like the story, just don't like playing them.
I don't think you're in the minority of that. I think a lot of people don't like Horizon, and I think I'm actually in the minority of thinking it's my favorite PlayStation franchise.
A lot of people love it too, though. It's like I just don't love the act of playing it. I
Yeah.
actually always played it on story mode just so I get the story. Don't like the gameplay. Stray, if you like a more realistic cat, it's coming. It's already been on PlayStation. Good for you guys. Another cozy game, Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game.
Looks
Enjoy.
cute AF.
Yeah. Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Yeah. It's like a remake of the DS games, maybe.
This is a sequel to the Phoenix Wright, and then the Apollo Justice games that never came out here.
Okay, cool. Because I know there's a mode that's like the 2D sprites, but it can turn into like a beautiful hand-drawn version, which is pretty cool. 100 Line, the 100 Line Last Defense Academy. Don't know. Romantic Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. There you go. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It's happening. This truly is coming to the Switch because Digital Foundry did a review of this video and said it's running at like 900p on the Switch hardware. Most people think this is actually in line with the Metroid Prime remaster engine that they did, Retro did. So it makes sense. So there you go. It's our first look. We get a new ship, it looks like. Other than that, some new enemies. And then they show at the end a very cool environment that's more lush and green with lots of wildlife.
Mm-hmm. Looks
Yo.
cool.
7 years in the making, gentlemen. 7 years in the making. It's coming 2025. One question for you, though. Is this day and date Switch and Switch 2 new system?
100%. Yep, that is the launch title. That's the Breath of the Wild, the Twilight Princess, 100%. Like, zero question in my mind.
Breath of the Wild, yeah. Okay, Corey?
The answer is complicated. Yes.
Did I ask for
Asterisk.
a complicated answer?
Asterisk. It's still a Switch game, but the next console is backwards compatible, and it will have patches that will, like, almost like Xbox Smart Delivery.
Yeah.
Oh,
NVIDIA Magic.
Okay.
NVIDIA DLSS Magic.
Yeah. I mean, I bet there will be a Switch 2 version of the game, but if you don't get a Switch 2 right away, you can still play it on Switch, and then it'll upgrade later, like the PlayStation.
Oh, you
4
think
to
there'll be
5.
a separate version just to trick people?
Yeah, because it's Nintendo, and they will tell you to buy the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like anybody who's first buying it, yeah. They don't want to confuse those people like, well, it says Switch on the box. I can't buy that.
How many times have you bought in Super Mario Brothers, Todd?
Well, it was like that on Xbox. Remember when Xbox One and Series launched? It's like the box had like 85 like logos. It's like, you can play it in your Xbox One, you can play it in your Xbox X, and it's better on. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. I think it's interesting. Although none of you played Metroid Prime Federation Force, you're gonna need to know the story of that.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Does that follow after 3? It's like, is it 3 Federation Force 4?
Mm-hmm. This story actually follows Hunters 3 and Federation Force.
Yep.
God, Nintendo, they deny us all of that rich history. They're like, there's a system that you can't buy. That's how you play it.
Yeah, we'll get our Federation Force
sad.
remake. That's the next thing to come out.
Oh my God. I hope it comes with like Metroid Prime, Metroid Pinball. It comes with Hunters. It comes with any other Metroid spinoff. It's there.
Yeah.
Yep. Why not?
And they're still not giving you 2 or 3. So
that was
that
a weird
just
thing.
tells
I
you.
expected that.
Yeah, that'll be in the fall direct.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
You think so? They're going to be like, well, I guess these games kind of matter too.
I wonder if they're debating on which games to put in that, because I think it's going to be a collection. I think you're going to buy a collection for $60 or individually for $40 on the eShop. Yeah. And I think at least Hunters may get an HD update because this game is so intrinsically tied to Hunters.
Yeah.
This is the company that can give you Mario Galaxy 2, guys. Don't get too excited.
Yeah.
Mario 2's overrated.
Shots fired. Corey,
I don't like the gal. I don't
It's
like
great to have you on. We'll see you next week. Mark, what's next?
Yeah, another 2 years. Jesus.
Yeah.
What's next? I don't know. Picking my job off the floor.
Exactly. I think in this game, I think what we're going to see is we're going to see another trailer later on to say this is what makes this game look different than the previous games. I don't know if it's just enough to do another game where it's just scanning and shooting and things like that. There's got to be some type of mechanic, right, to be the fourth in a modern system. I think it just can't be. It's more of what you already got in Prime Remaster. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's enough.
I think it's going to be a little bit more action heavy, actually, because a lot of the Halo 4 devs are working on this.
Okay.
They
left 343. They left 343 and went back to retro.
Well, yeah, because they left retro. A lot of them left retro to go to 343 to work on Halo 4.
Halo 4, yeah.
And then when Halo 5 became a hot mess, they left to go back to retro.
That's so funny. Halo 4 was great and looked beautiful. Yeah,
I love Halo 4. It's my favorite Halo.
It's a great Halo. Yeah. Mark's, I don't know if Mark's giving us the side eye right now. I don't know.
No, not at all. I love Halo.
I don't like my gaming.
Yeah, that was great.
It's great. It's beautiful. Awesome storyline. Yeah, love it. Okay, well, that is it for the Nintendo Direct. So let's get into our predictions. And Corey, since you're here, you can actually just keep us on the right path to see if we get any points. So
Right.
Cheesy C64 said remake Twilight Princess, and this is what you expect to see. The Wind Waker, that basic collection, and Smash 64, no points.
On the NSO.
Mark, you said NSO. I mean, that's so vague. Did you actually say anything?
No, okay. So what I said was reasons for us to keep NSO, something big. I didn't expect a ton of like big announcements. I really didn't expect some of the stuff that we saw. Like I said, I thought Cheesy was right with his Twilight Princess Wind Waker, and I thought that was great, but I thought that we would see more on NSO. Again, coming up the end of the summer is going to be people are going to be renewing. What's going to keep us? Are there going to be the old Pokemon games? I think is what I actually listed. But I said, like, there's going to be something along those lines of like, here's a reason to keep it. Here's a reason to keep going. Here's a couple of new games that you have been waiting for. Perfect Dark, I think, is like a great example of that. I think Metroid and Zelda, like, yeah, I think I've got some points for that one.
Okay. Few points. Myself, Fire Emblem Remake, that's still MIA. I thought it was supposed to happen. And I said Link Between Worlds. So I am not taking any points because this was not Link Between Worlds, but I thought they were going to do a Link Between Worlds in the style. So I get
I want to give you 0.01 of a point for saying that style of game and thinking there was going to be something new in that game, in that style. Because I really thought you were out of left field with that one, like bringing back that art style. I think I mentioned the amiibo back on my shelf over there. And like, I didn't think, I said I'd love that, but I really didn't think we were going to revisit that art style this generation or this, like for the Switch. I want to give you at least like some semblance of a point or a high five.
Give him half a point
on that. Yeah.
I'll take half a point. Yes.
Right.
Okay. What you want to see? Cheesy C64 says a Donkey Kong entry, so he gets a full point.
I'm giving him that.
Take that to the bank. Mark said you want to see the Twilight Princess Wind Waker remake. You want to see Metroid Prime 4, Wave Race, and tease something. I can't remember what you said. I wrote down something and it said tease.
Tease. I think it was teasing. What I want to see was teasing. That was where I thought they were going to introduce Metroid Prime 4 with a tease of Switch 2. We were going to see something that, and it was instantly disproven with the analysis of the video and the trailer and all that kind of stuff. But I was thinking we were going to see a tease without them telling us it was a tease. Switch 2, something that the Metroid Prime 4 trailer was just going to be a little too pretty. It was going to be, there was going to be something shown here that was just like, that's running too smooth. It's looking too pretty. I don't think that's on the Switch. And I don't think there were some questions about it, but it was very quickly disproven. So I don't think I get any points for any of that.
No, you get a point for Metroid Prime 4 though. I'll take a point for that.
But I think the Metroid Prime 4, I think had that caveat, didn't it?
Oh, I don't remember. If you want to take the caveat, that's
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to take a point for that because I think what I want to see, like I'd take maybe half a point for getting the Metroid Prime 4
Give you half a point. There you go.
But like, I think it was with that caveat that like that's going to be like the backdoor tease for a Switch 2. So I'm not super comfortable taking a full point for that.
Okay. No pressure, but you get the half point. Metroid Prime 4 is what I said too. I think I even put a caveat like to say it's going to be in 2025, so essentially they can get away with it, not having to say what system it's for. So I'll take a point for that. I said Eternal Darkness remake, it's still not happening. Sorry, folks. I know you want it to happen too. And then on Lego Nintendo World, because this was before we knew the Lego Horizon thing was going to happen. I'm like, I want a Lego Nintendo game. We're not getting it. Sorry.
No.
And then what you don't want to see, Cheesy C said a Kirby game, a Mario baseball game. So he won because he didn't get any of those. Marcus said no focus on things we already know. I think largely most things were not dwelled upon. Like we know we were getting Luigi's Mansion 2.
Yeah.
Pretty limited on that.
Yeah, that was the caveat to that is I didn't want yeah, like that 5-minute chunk of like, here's a bunch of gameplay for Luigi's Mansion 2. Like they could talk about it. And I remember saying that, like, I don't mind
Yeah.
being like, this game drops today. This game's
We're acknowledging
in
it.
2 weeks. We're acknowledging it. Get pumped for it. You got to get that marketing cycle in there, of course.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it to be like, here's the first level of Luigi's Mansion 2. This is 15 minutes of a presentation. And then we're going to get a sizzle reel of like a couple of cool game trailers. Like that's what I didn't want. And I think they kind of pretty much delivered
Yeah,
on that.
I think so. Yeah. I said no montages. I'm tired of the montage where it's like 85 games in 22 seconds, no titles. What was that game? I don't know. We won't tell you. Wait for the post and the blog. They didn't do that. So thank goodness. I said no extended. And I said no extended. That was caveat of yours, Mark. It was just like, I don't want to see a lot of extended views of games we already know they're coming, which they didn't do. And I said no bland executives, and they minimized their executives to a certain point. They didn't stay too long, which was a good thing as well.
And I didn't think it was bland. Like the executives that they had, back to like Corey's point about the Dragon Age stuff, like, or the not the what the hell was that
Quest
game? The Dragon Quest. Thank you. Like that was explaining the timeline of that and how that worked. Like I didn't think that was bland. I thought that was kind of necessary for stuff like this. So I think you nailed that.
All right. I think it was so we went through we didn't do too bad at Nintendo. I think it was the one we did the best on, probably, I think, of all the conferences. So, you know what? We'll take the wins, and I think that worked out pretty well for us. So, Corey, this is where you get to participate. So we're going to give it our score. Review is going to be Buy Rent Return, your biggest letdown, and your game of the show. So, Corey, Buy Rent Return.
Man, this direct was amazing. It was the best direct they've had in probably years, in my opinion. I am buying. I'm buying this direct.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I'm sad that how many games I'm buying.
Where would this rank for all your summer of gaming, like Xbox, PlayStation? Where does this rank for you in that grouping?
This is the best one by far.
Nice.
The rest of it was just kind of like, I was not hardly interested in any of the rest of it. Yeah. I mean, the Xbox One, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll play Fable. I know I'm in the minority of this too, but I'm actually really upset it's a Gears prequel and not finishing the story, so the Coalition can go make something new and interesting.
Oh yeah, E-Day. Yeah, I was disappointed. Yeah. I was hoping that would just be like a Hive Busters within Gears 6. That's what I was hoping.
I mean, here's the thing. If 6 was already over and they were completely rebooting Gears, I would have been all for it. But like, no, we have 3 prequels already. Let's move on. Okay. We have the DLC for 3, which is a prequel. We have Judgment, which is a prequel, and we have Tactics, which is a prequel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I get it.
I get it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Your biggest letdown of the show, Corey.
Oh man, I don't really know if there was one. I mean, I guess like, man, I just want a fun Mario Party, and this one looks really dumb.
Oh,
I don't need
really?
I don't need all the gimmicks. I just want like a bunch of great boards and like some interesting mini games. I don't want to like fly around the world with Mario and Luigi carrying a shell. I don't need 20-player online because it's not going to work.
I wanted DLC for the last Mario Party game. Like they did such a great job at some of the boards on there, and I thought they could have easily just do the Mario Kart route. Here's a couple of old boards. Here's one new board. Here's a handful of new mini games. Enjoy your DLC. Nintendo Switch Online gets it for free. Other people, it's $40. Cool.
Yeah. Add some characters.
Like, why? I get you.
I don't know. That's definitely my biggest disappointment is Mario Party. Just can't. And then game of the show. Man, this is a tough one because Metroid Prime 4 was super impressive. But the Link's Awakening remake is an incredible remake.
Good
and
game.
The fact that we're getting like a semi sequel / game in that art style, and they're adding the kind of creative elements of Tears of the Kingdom sort of into that art style is really compelling. So I'm gonna say Zelda.
Hey, we'll take it, man. Yeah, you don't get one of those. You don't get a fully new Legend of Zelda game every day, especially in this format. So we'll take
Especially
it
when we
because I think,
just got Tears of the Kingdom. Like,
yeah.
what?
Well, when was the last? I mean, I think Link Between Worlds was the last new Zelda, like top down, like 3/4 view. The
Yeah.
rest are all remakes, and so it's a big deal. So I think that's a cool take. Mark, buy, rent, return.
Oh, bye. Absolutely. Completely agree. Like this was the one to beat through this whole summer of gaming. I thought they were just firing on. Like I said, I didn't expect them to go this hard with anything. I thought like Switch is winding down. They acknowledged we're not going to talk about Switch 2, the successor. We're like, what? And they just came out swinging with all this crap. Like just incredible.
Yeah.
Biggest letdown for me is I'm not gonna steal yours, so I'm not gonna say the Mario Party thing, but like I'm gonna cheat with this answer 100% in the fact that we didn't get the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess thing that we all kind of wanted. But that's a stupid answer because we got a new Zelda game. So it's that's a cop out stupid answer, but I was expecting it. And whatever.
You can have one without the other.
Yeah. You can, Mark. It's
Yeah.
Nintendo can make new games all the time.
And the other thing is, I was kind of let down because the whole time watching Metroid Prime 4, I said, okay, and they're going to drop 2 today with 3 available in the fall to tide us over till 4. I don't know if we'll get any like the Hunters or anything like that. I'd love that. I liked Hunters. But I really expected that, and that was a bit of a letdown because I want to play through those 3 games and then jump into 4 when it comes out next year. And the fact that right now I don't think I can is a bit of a letdown. So I'll say that one. I think for my big letdown.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get those in the fall.
I'm hoping.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
But it seemed like such a perfect time to be like, and one more thing, Metroid Prime 2 is dropping today, and look out for more information on Metroid Prime 3 remake coming this fall. Or I kind of love your idea of like get the whole bundle or whatever,
or just do trilogy, a physical trilogy, and then launch it digitally and get the other 2. Yeah,
so weird
because you could get the physical edition later, but we'll drop the digital games later. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Look out for the Metroid Prime trilogy dropping this fall in a special edition case, or get them digitally right now. Whatever. And then game of the show, I'm gonna have to agree. An unexpected Zelda game. Metroid Prime 4, we've been waiting, but we kind of knew. It's been kind of like they have to show off Metroid Prime. Who the hell expected a new Zelda game? Let alone in that art style, let alone with Zelda as the lead. Man, like I was done at that. They could have cut the direct off at that point, and I would have been like, that was a sick show. The fact that they showed Metroid Prime 4 was just like, here's a cherry on top of this already delicious, amazing sundae. So that Zelda was just like, shit. Yeah, that's the stuff right there.
All right, I'll finish up. It's a rent for me. I think you really have to be a big Nintendo fan to feel like this is the best thing in the world. For me, it was like most of these games just don't appeal to me. So I think it's just that nature. There's a lot of games that like the Hello Kitty game. Why was this in the direct? All those, a lot of Asian anime games, a lot of cozy games. It's like they don't speak to a lot of people. They speak to a lot of niches. To me, they just didn't. If I think of like the big games, they dropped a lot of good first party. The rest of the games around it, I felt were just subpar. Like I said, Looney Tunes. So I think if we get past like this with the Nintendo Chorus, the games around it were pretty much generic and didn't really do much. So I'm taking like the realistic view. I know you guys are in the high, like, these ones, but I'm like, so think of how many games we just went through and didn't even mention.
I will give a caveat though. Watching this with my wife and Finn, if I wasn't pumped on a game, like the Hobbit game, my wife was like, hell yeah, sign me up. Let's go. She started playing Animal Crossing again to get in the mood for this game. Finn was like pumped
Damn
when he
cozy
saw
gamers, you guys are gonna kill us all.
Finn was pumped for Looney Tunes. He was dancing along with the Just Dance trailer.
Like I said, it's a different mindset for Nintendo fans.
Yeah. So there was all of that.
It definitely is.
If I wasn't up on something, one of them was. So this whole thing combined was like my family's direct.
Yeah.
So even if there was like 3, 4, 5 games that I was like, I need these right now.
Yeah.
They were bouncing on the other one.
It's the best it's the best direct for families.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. Yeah. Because quite honestly, I'm a huge PlayStation fan. That game, I only liked it for one game. But the Xbox game for me, Xbox console, those were huge games constantly. There was not much filler in that. This direct had so much filler for me. I'm like, skip. So that's why I'm like when people say this is the best direct, I think depending on who you are, but I mean, if you talk about high quality big games, I think the Xbox is hard to ignore. I know it's not for everybody, but I mean, to me, it's not. I mean, I've had troubles with Xbox, but I think they outdid everyone this year, especially the games that are interesting for me. Yeah. And quite honestly, for me, biggest letdown, like I said, there's like 4 maybe games out of the 20 that I actually cared about. So I would say a lot of it is just most games were not for me. So that's my biggest letdown. And I can't say Eternal Darkness not being there because I'm the only one that's vowing that game to come back into life. And for me, game of the show, it's the Mario and Luigi game. I just saw so much in there. It looked so much fun. Things to do, different things, the art style. I'm like, that's pretty cool. It spoke to me more so than the Zelda game because I feel like that game, while I think it's original, the pace looks very slow. And there's like no offensive skills of her. She's using things. So for me, it feels like that's a game that will not work at all for me. It's like, yes, it's a discovery and moving game, but you're going to have to use like a creature to attack. And to me, that will feel, and I will feel like sometimes I'm like, I don't have what I need. So now I got to trek way over there because it's not going to work. Because I don't think a bed is going to defeat an enemy unless you put a better, I don't know. So I like the idea of it, but I definitely is not for me. But it looks cute, and I'll try it out. I always do. So that's my review. So
Nice.
I am the voice of, I guess, different reason.
Sadness.
The voice of sadness.
The voice of sadness.
Well, I have my 18-year-old son said, yeah, there wasn't much for you there, Dad. He was like, yeah, it's not for me. It's for families and stuff like that. I'm 18. I like playing weird games like what's the game he's playing? Oh, like he likes Helldivers. Then he plays Balloon Tower 6 or whatever, Balloon Defense 6 or whatever. So he's a weird kid too.
I think the reason why this hit so hard for me is because like I love the Mario and Luigi RPGs. Donkey Kong Country Returns is the best Donkey Kong game in my opinion, and I'm happy that it's available in HD. You know, Fantasian, I've been waiting for it. It's been rumored to be ported for 3 years, and I'm just waiting for it. You know, Zelda, Metroid, those are obvious ones for me. So
sure. I get it. I mean, but I will say it's fantastic to see a system as old as the Switch go out on high point. Kind of reminds me of like PlayStation. Oh, The Last of Us always is launched in the last year. It goes out on high point. So I love to see systems that still get supported. Not like what was it, the Wii U? It's like I don't even remember what the last game was because it essentially died and Nintendo said goodbye. We're never talking to you again. So
Breath of the Wild.
exactly. So that is it. So as the game fest is over, time to turn off the lights and just get ready to play some games. So with that, Corey, thank you so much for joining us this episode. Tell people where they can follow you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. This was fun. You know how much I love you guys.
It's mutual, man.
Yeah, we were just talking about you guys the other day, and we got to do more with them. You can find me at IAmCoreyInHD on all the social media. You can follow the Boss Rush Network at Boss Rush Network. BossRush.net is where all of our content is held. I host the Boss Rush podcast and Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast, as well as co-host Nintendo Pal Block with Eddie B. So you can check all that out. Very, very proud of the team for the stuff that they do. So,
yeah, Corey, I you do some great work over there with the team. great team. I'm glad you guys have been able to do some game events as well, and then your work you do with all of the social media work. It's fantastic, and all the shows you guys put all your heart and soul in. So check out Corey if you love Nintendo podcasts. If you just like having a good time, check out Boss Rush Media, and if you want to check up, anything about Destiny, check in with Corey.
Yeah, it's fun. We're trying over there. So
yeah, very good. Mark, tell people where they can follow us or follow you.
Follow me. You can find me
Yes.
on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads as Canardian_gamer or Canardian_Jedi. If you want to see more of my my Star Warsy kind of stuff over that way, and of course, always hanging out in the Secret Friends Discord group.
Very, very cool. I think the Canardian gamer is dead. So
a little
goodbye.
bit. I haven't done much to that page. I've been considering merging them back under one, and we'll see. I still haven't pulled the trigger on that, but I think it's. I was thinking about that more today, and I think that's kind of happening.
Very, very cool. Well, you can follow me on the threads at TOxtra, at Secret Friends Unite. Our Discord is awesome. Find us there as well. Our Patreons are pretty cool too. Thank you, Corey, for being a Patreon. Just check us out there. Check out our website too if you want to see everything we're up to, and would love if you checked out our YouTube channel. So that is it for our show. We will be back in 2 weeks to have some more fun in the world of games. And remember, folks, it's always better to game together.